Okie dokie. So if I sound funny, that's because I'm trying to talk differently so that my sheet mask stays on. Because I have to multitask everything right now. So today is Friday the 10th. I have to work at 4, so I have to pre-film a whole bunch of things, get them edited, and hopefully get them up. At least this one. So we have I have a video today. So if you're wondering what the fuck today's video is, it is a tour of my Japanese study planner. This is an A5TN that I made myself. It's a bit janky here and there, and you'll see that as we go through. So if anyone knows of somewhere where I can get a really wide-spined A5TN that's not leather, I'd really appreciate it. It's not that I'm vegan or anything, and that's why I want to avoid leather. It's just that leather takes a lot of care that I don't currently know how to do or think that I truly have the time to do. And also leather makes things leather is expensive. Pardon me, I was just fussing with my sheet mask so my hand was damp. And so leather makes things more expensive. I do, of course, think that I could just make myself another one. Like, this one's relatively sturdy. I just would need to use a thicker elastic. Like, this elastic is super thin. And I would probably buy like a vinyl leather-like thing for the spine rather than using the fun foam like I did. There's another place you can see the jankiness. So let's just get right into it. So this little charm here is a little seal that one of my friends brought back for me from Japan when he visited, because he goes a whole bunch because he is half Japanese, and he has a lot of family over there and he visits them rather often. So yeah, you'll notice that this guy's chunky. I don't even have, I have the papers in the back here for more inserts because I know that I need to have more notebooks in here, but I don't have more notebooks in here. And then this is a from past me to future me note. And I just stuck it in here. It's not necessarily about my Japanese studies. It's just that this was the only planner that I knew would be the exact same December 2018 as it is 2019. So, and then we have nice little rounded, these ones are secretarial, and then we have a card pocket here that I made for myself. So all of the papers and vellums in here are from Happy Scrappy. And then the paper I use for my inserts is the A4 sized Rhodia dot grid paper. This little guy, my monthly tab, is from Catspresso Co. I bought this in her original shop open release. You can actually see that better when I don't put my hand behind it. I definitely want to get more of these. Pardon that. I think I've mentioned it in previous videos, but I live right behind a bunch of cafe and a bar, and deliveries come through on the alleyway all the time. Definitely want to get more of these guys, because they're really cute, and I wish that I had gotten this one with my initial on it, because you can put a little initial there, but I didn't. So I'm going to show you January. So this is the monthly sort of goal setting tracker planner thing, and then in the front it's study booklet master table of contents type of thing. So book 1, book 2, book 3, 4, and then a whole bunch of other things that actually no longer exists in that one. But here we have January. It's just I put the goals over here and then what I studied over here. This month was really bad. My cat died here in one of these few days, and that's why just the whole rest of the month was fucked. So I started out pretty strong and I kept going fairly good. Here, this was non-active listening, podcast kind of things. And I'm like, because I do listen to a lot of podcasts in Japanese that are like bilingual sort of podcasts, so they're in Japanese and then, you know, you get the whole thing in Japanese and then you get the whole thing in English. I did listen to those, like that's one of my daily routine things. February, again, started out pretty strong. And then just totally fell off. I don't even think I set up March all the way. Yeah. I know that I did study some in March, but not a whole lot. So I am studying by myself. I am not taking classes, and that is mostly because I prefer in-person classes. And then April really wasn't set up, not at all. And we have May here, which I have completely set up in a slightly different way. So I have my goals over here, I have my month review here, and then I have what I studied and each week in review. I haven't filled in the last few days, but today is the 10th, and then so the 8th and the 9th I did half an hour 45 minutes of kana drills, and then half an hour 45 minutes of working in the Genki textbook. So I started reading it up here, but I didn't really start working in it until this week. So the big announcement that I hinted at in the tags of my Instagram post on Wednesday is that I'm planning on taking the JLPT exam at the N5 level this December. I haven't decided where I'm going to take it. Currently, the two closest locations are the University of Georgia in Atlanta and the Florida International University in Miami. And I'm pretty much right in the middle of those two right now. Like, when I checked Google Maps, just totally for shits and gigs, I believe the Georgia one was just shy of 6 hours, and the Atlanta one was just shy of 6 hours, and the Miami drive was just shy of 5 hours. So, I don't know. There is a third option as well, which is that I may fly home and take it in Seattle. So I may, like, take quite a bit of time off instead of just that weekend. If you're wondering, here in the States, the JLPT exam is only offered in December, and it is always held on the first Sunday of December. So this year, that would be the 1st of December. So I would be taking Friday to Monday off if I was doing it in at the Atlanta testing site or the Miami testing site. Just so I could, get down there, take the test, and get back up, and don't have to stress day of getting there and back. So, if I were to take the one in Seattle, I'd probably take the 2 weeks off, or maybe, because I am paid weekly right now, so that would really kill me. So I might, take a week and a half off. I'm not sure, because I would like to actually visit with my family. And they are 3 hours north, their house is 3 hours north of Seattle. So a significantly better drive than what I would be facing here, and a significantly more could do it the day of kind of drive, but would much rather do it the night before and then drive back after the test. More info on the JLPT exam. It was originally designed, and as we go through, I'm going to flip through what I have going on in here. So this was the, decorative mailer folder thing that I got from the Giving Girl. I'm just using it as a sticker pocket right now. Admittedly, none of these things need to be in here. I'm not really stickering in this planner. I'm doing it on the May page and the monthly page, and that's it. And then we get into book 1, which is the initial goals I set for my son, why I want to learn Japanese, and an affirmation for myself, a small amount of info. I think I did, I put the goals in here somewhere. Here. And then we have some info on like the different writing systems, my goals that I initially set at the beginning of this year that have pretty much changed, have changed quite a bit. And then we have just hiragana and katakana charts, a bunch of random lists and blah blah blah. So I'm gonna flip through that while we go. Oh, and then in the back we have the hiragana, the beginning of the hiragana drills. So info on the JLPT exam. It was initially designed for foreign Japanese learning students in Japan. So it is it's written by Japanese people. And it currently has 5 levels. Previously it only had 4. And it is the international standard for Japanese proficiency. So really quick, basically every few days I'll come back through, do a line of these, write down a couple of words that start with this character. You'll see that I kind of changed the way I was writing these down in later. So it's a big deal. The test itself only costs $60, but as you can probably assume from all of the traveling I would need to do and the accommodations and blah blah blah, it's going to cost me quite a bit more than just $60 to be able to take the test, which is frustrating and sad. And here's where I start changing it, because I'm using the Genki textbook here to just find all of the words that start with this character. And I also start using the Mildliner bullet tip rather than the Crayola super tip that I was using up here and in previous pages. So registration for the test does not start until August, or late August. Oh, and here, made a small mistake. You'll see that in a later book that I just totally skipped right over that. Yeah. So this is as you can see, hiragana, ha for and then katakana, the whole damn thing. And there is mild stickering, but I'm not stickering while I'm studying. I'm stickering in setup mode, and then I'm studying. So yeah, side ends don't start until the end of August. And yeah, and then it goes into the katakana back here. If you're wondering, hiragana is for Japanese words. And then katakana are for loan words. There is a fancy Japanese word for loan words, but I can't remember what they are right now, and I'm sorry. So that's why I'm doing a bunch of vocabulary stuff. Book 3 is grammar drills. So these all come from a couple of different YouTube videos I was watching. 5 or 6. This. Yeah, there's a lot going on here. And then there's another one here. Another one here, and then I was starting to write out sentences that I was going to formulate myself, from book 1 that I wrote down. So that's what the rest of these pages are for. And then this is book 4. This is where I'm writing all of my notes for the Genki textbook. And I am just using Mildliners, the Pilot brush tip, and a Staedtler. I had previously been using, this Pigma Micron, but I blunted the nib, and then I realized that the Staedtler glides a lot smoother, even brand new, better than the Micron did on the Rhodia paper. So, and then we go to book 5, which is my gold list notebook, and then the next 3 are this. So if you don't know the gold list method, it's basically a analog SRS, which is spaced repetition. Crap, I don't remember. I'm sorry. But it's an analog spaced repetition system. And it's basically just another way to learn vocab. This is from Happy Scrappy. I have another one that's the Booties, but I think I loaned that to my roommate, and so it's in one of her Tolkien books, because we were at the hospital. And I haven't started writing in this one or this one here. So I don't know if I'm just going to add more books in, like as I fill up the one for Genki, and just put another one in here and then have that one, or what I'm gonna do. So yeah. Oh, I need to put my month tab back in. So later I will have a video about my exact study plan. Which books I'm using other than Genki, what apps I'm using, things like that, and all of that jazz. And then there may also wind up being either lives here on YouTube or lives on Instagram that are just study with me, and we sit here and we study for hour and a half. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. Lots of love. Like, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. If you don't wanna, you don't wanna, but as I said, there will be more Japanese learning content. There will also continue to be planner content, and a small amount of skincare content. There may wind up being more of that in the future. If you would like to help support me, I have a Ko-fi, basically the patron, but not patron, and I'll link that below. And I do also have an Etsy shop where I make crochet pouches for tarot decks. You can use them for regular card decks or dice or whatever. And I also make pouches for planners, which I don't have one on me right now to show you, but I do that too. Thank you very much, guys. Have a good day.